defensive line coach Al Washington.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Very good. Good. Whenever you guys are ready for questions, go ahead.
How have you seen the defensive line kind of mature and grow through these 4 games?
Yeah, I think they've grown and matured very nicely. You know, they've worked really hard week in and week out to improve, and it's a really motivated group, very competitive group.
How does that help you as a defensive line coach when you have the strength in numbers that you guys seem to have there? And can that be a negative sometimes because you have to figure out which combos are going in when?
Yeah, no, it's always a good thing. I think it allows guys to remain as fresh as they can throughout the duration of a game, for example. And you just have to try your best to carve out roles the best you can. You're never going to be exact. It's never an exact science. You know, every game's kind of, they evolve, but as long as everybody's in line and the whole objective is to win, I think that's when it becomes really positive, and that's what we got. You know, so a lot of guys are capable, and when their number's called, they perform.
Coach, what's been the one thing, I guess, when you've seen the run game from opposing teams in the first 2 games, how you guys have improved in the recent 2 games against UNC and Cal?
Yeah, so I think so starting point always starts with the fundamentals, like tackling. It sounds simple, but like if you can block the struck, you can leverage the ball, and you can tackle, you'll be successful. I think when we weren't successful, it's because we didn't do those things. So winning your one-on-one, defeating your block, leveraging the football, obviously keeping the ball inside and in front, but tackling, and not only tackling, knockback. And we made a real emphasis of that. And that's a daily thing, you know, we're still working to improve, but I think that focus on the fundamentals has helped, bring to life all the scheme that we run, so.
Now, a lot of times we talk about challenges, but what are the opportunities? You're going into an 8-week stretch where it's a gauntlet. What is the opportunity for you during this 8 weeks to get your defense going? Yeah,
that's a great question. I think, number one, I think every day is an opportunity. We've kind of tried to segment it that way, so 1 week at a time. But as a whole, I think this is really where everything everything takes shape in the country. You know, not only us, but everybody. This is the home stretch, so to speak, for us. So you take it one play at a time, you do the best you can to execute and play as hard as you can, and you focus on improving, focus on the process, focus on what it takes to get the objective done. And that's a great opportunity because that's where you make your gains. You know, you make your gains when you're focused on that, you know. And so I think for us as a team and as a culture, it's a great opportunity for us to bring to life all that we say, you know, all the things we aspire to be. We get an opportunity to be that when it matters the most. And so that's kind of what our mindset is on defense, and my mindset is, and a lot of players' mindset as well. So,
how difficult is it to get players on the field? You're trying to give people a breather, at the same time, get people who are doing well in practice. What's it like to try to put that game plan together and get everybody to contribute?
It's fun, but it's not easy. You know, it's not easy because so many guys. Obviously, everybody works with the opportunity to play. You know what I mean? But the outcome has got to be the win, and so there's an element of selflessness that needs to be there. But I think that the fact that we are so competitive is why guys are getting better. You know, like nobody's complacent. Everybody is pushing each other, and so I think that's a special thing. I haven't been to many places where that is the case, and so I think they've embraced that. And so it's not always easy, at the end of the game when a guy looks at his reps and says, man, I wish I had more. But that's what makes us great or special. That's part of what makes us unique, is that competition. And every day, every week's its own. Like, you don't know, just because 1 week works out one way, doesn't mean it's going to work the next week. So you just got to stay ready. And all the while, get better. I think a lot of guys have approached it that way, and I think that's really what's helped because there is improvement. And you improve by, focus on the process. So,
Coach, every week we see somebody else standing out on the defensive line. Is that because of the experience of the guys that you have, returning players, the Adam Lolas, those guys?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Like, experience is so important. Like, a lot of these guys have played. I think another part of it is, I think our depth allows guys to be at their, it's hard to feel run down. I know guys are sore, but I think think you can preserve a little bit of that, and then I think there's improvement taking place. I think guys are building their fundamentals, and they're building what they need to build in order for the scheme to come alive. So I think it's a combination of everything, but experience is so critical. I can't overstate how important it is, and that is an advantage for all those guys.
And what's allowed Howard Cross to have the season of production he's had to this point?
Yeah, I think you'd have to ask Howard. I think he's decided to really be a pro and work and really try to make improvements individually. And I think he's gifted, obviously, but I think he's really worked at it, man. He's earned it, and he's continuing to earn it. So I think that's a big part of it. I think, I think it's a combination of everything. I think the competition helps him. I think all of that stuff helps a guy like that, and I think he's still a guy that's working to improve. And I know he's constantly thinking about how to improve. But it's great to see him, kind of emerge. So I think he's pretty special.
Where have you seen improvement from Riley since the season started?
Yeah, Matt, that's a great question. Like Riley has made improvements. He's made improvements on the outside. He's made improvements on the inside. In particular with his transition, his rush. I think he's improved that. I think he's become more comfortable in the scheme, like everybody. And I think all that helps you play faster. And I think he's really been focused on the team. I think he's really been focused on how he can contribute and open-minded to every week, kind of like what we feel like is the best thing, how we see you fitting. He's embraced it to allow him to contribute. So it's good to see he's experiencing some success, but he's another one that is focused on what he needs to improve on every day and process-oriented. Being that way has helped.
And then Gabe Rubio's kind of broken into the rotation. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, he's another one, man. He's a young guy, plays extremely hard, big, just really embraces that role of being a big physical presence inside, and so he's fundamentally improving. Like he's one guy since the spring to now, it's just like boom, like it's taken off. And so he's another one. He's another one on a long list of guys that have, it's just, how do you, everybody, when your number's called, you got to be ready to roll, and he's ready. He's probably ready right now, ready to play right now in the parking lot.
Last question, Levon.
What's it going to take to get to this quarterback with this defensive line, getting to Hall throughout this matchup?
Yeah, we got to be one. 4 is 1. Like the ends got to work with the inside. And be honest with you, it's rushing and coverage. So I think our success in terms of rushing the passer stems from the back end, being able to do a good job in the coverage. And it's anytime we have success in that way, it's hand in hand. So I think we got to be a unit. We can't be fragmented. We have to know how we have to know how everything ties in, and everything has to be as one. 4 is 1, and that takes coordination. It takes selflessness. It takes understanding, and it also takes a relentless effort because that quarterback's good. I mean, he's a veteran guy. He makes great decisions. He's he goes through his progression, and he can hurt you with his feet. So it's really going to take everybody, to keep him at bay, and that's the task that we're working the entire season.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry.